There are a few certain qualities I look for in personality when hiring staff members. One of them is their attitude and their motivation, because I believe that you can't train that. You can train someone's skills, but you can't train them how to be a good player or good team player, or to come into work every day with a smile on their face. Another thing I look for in employees is people that have experience with small businesses. So either their parents own small business or they've worked in a small business, because I think those people can empathise with small business owners, and I think that's important, especially in the New Zealand market. In terms of industry lingo, if someone to me is talking about CPA, cost per acquisition, if they're talking about CPL, cost per lead, these sorts of things for AdWords, that definitely ticks boxes. For me, for SEO, jargon-wise, if they're talking, the latest Penguin algorithm update and, the ratio of keyword to non-keyword content, and they know those sorts of things. If they can look at a website's robots file to see what's being blocked or what's not being blocked. For example, we had a prospective client come to us recently saying, I type in my business name and we don't even come up. So the first thing I do is I look in the source code and I can see that the web developer hasn't unblocked the site to search engines. So, if people can diagnose those sorts of problems, there's lots of lingo around that, then they probably know what they're talking about. When I am hiring technical SEO people or technical AdWords people, we do have certain tests that we've put together in-house that would test their skills. So for AdWords, we have put together a mock campaign with questions on how that person would find out certain metrics for that campaign. So there's certain things that they would need to be able to know on how to read it. Same with SEO, we can put together tests for websites and with questions on certain technical elements to do with that website, and get them to put together an SEO strategy on how they would implement the SEO on that. For SEO, we also do need to test their web development skills, because whilst most websites are built in WordPress, there are often a lot that aren't, and you need to be able to work with a whole range of content management systems and sometimes actual HTML, PHP, ASPX. So we would do quite stringent technical testing for those sorts of positions. When it comes to hiring, certain red flags do sometimes appear. One of those in a resume is possibly if someone has moved around jobs a lot. I do find you do need to have a chat with that person about the specific reasons why they have moved jobs around. It may be that they just haven't been able to find what they're looking for. There may be a certain reason behind that, but lots of different positions can be a red flag. Another red flag for me in a technical position is someone who doesn't have good business empathy. So some people get too bogged down in the data and can't translate that data into a business sense. For example, if you have an AdWords specialist that's too bogged down in the data of clicks to a website, they're not looking at conversions. Conversions is ultimately what a business needs. Then from there you might get someone who's only looking at the amount of conversions, but then they're not looking at the quality of those conversions. So It's important for people to have business empathy and to be able to translate what they're doing into real value for a business. A red flag you can have for people in SEO is that they are still using old SEO techniques. So they may think that putting meta keywords into a website is important, whereas we know that Google stopped looking at that 5 or plus years ago. You need to be able to keep up to date and change your methods. People get stuck in their ways, and you need to be able to continually put aside what used to work and concentrate on what works now.